Okay, so let's start it. Let's start with the module one. Module one, in which we are going to work on the security operations center concepts. And first, you need to know what SOC exactly is, because I have used this word so many times, and most of the people are new into the cybersecurity, I think so, and SOC as well. So the SOC means, the full form is Security Operations Centers, as you already know with the module one topic. But what SOC exactly is? So basically, SOC exactly is like it's a complete infrastructure, which is a cybersecurity infrastructure by which we can manage our clients and our devices, our endpoints, our servers, firewalls, and other stuffs with a particular SIM pool, right? So basically, it is a type of infrastructure where we can manage all the security module at one place and provide security, provide vulnerability management, and each and everything means complete solution to our client or organization, right? So basically, SOC comes under the defensive part, means a blue team, which known for defense, right? And defense means completely like if someone is attacking your environment, your devices, your servers, and try to get access and try to get the access of your data as well. So basically, these are the people who are responsible to protect your data over the internet or over the organization. So they are called SOC analysts, those who are the part of a SOC team and the organization, right? So what is SOC? Basically, this is a type of organization and the infrastructure by which we are going to manage our cyber security and managing the devices, managing the firewalls, managing the antivirus and servers as well to protect our data, right? So basically, this was the part a SOC team does on a daily basis, right? Now the thing is why we require SOC. Okay, so we require SOC for so many stuffs, right? First of the thing, we need to protect our data to get stolen or to get breached over the internet by some of the threat actors, right? Threat actors means those who are attacking your organization and they are trying to leak your data, they are trying to get access. Okay, don't know what would be the agenda behind this to attack on someone's organization and get leak those data, whatever you have got from those organizations and the infrastructure. But still these things are happening on the daily basis, and I can see that most of the organizations have gone through with the breaches, with the data leaks, with the device compromise, and the ransomware attack. I think most of the people have heard about ransomware attacks.
Yeah,
Yeah, so what ransomware attack exactly is in your term?
it's like making your PC or your computer or your server um, going to like you cannot work on the PC or you cannot work on the server until unless you pay some amount to the threat people who are doing the freezing of the system. So if you
Okay,
pay the amount,
so
then they will.
there is a catch. First of the things, they are not going to access your devices and lock it directly. Basically, they are simply encrypting your files, not the complete PC, right? Uh, the encryption of files, encryption of registry means the system has been compromised and you can't use it completely because they just need your data, right? Not your PC, not your devices, not your server. They don't need these type of stuffs, right? They just need your data, whatever you are doing, whatever you have in your servers, right? Whatever the data you have, they need those. So that is why they encrypt your file system completely of that device so that you can pay them the ransom. That is why it has a name ransomware, Okay, so you need to pay the ransom, and then only they will be able to unencrypt all those files on the system, and you will start using all of the stuffs again. But the thing is, most of the time, the organization pay those ransom, but still they didn't get the files back, right? So we have a preventive measure to prevent this ransomware attacks on which we are working. So we have a preventive measure like always take a backup of your data. If the data you have saved on the servers, if the data is moving regularly on a daily basis, so take backup of your data, not just a single backup, take multiple backups, right? Because we are using cloud these days, but don't know when we get the ransomware attack and everything gets encrypted. So take backup. We recommend our clients to take backup not at a single backup, but take a multiple backups on a multiple geolocations, right? If a single geolocation gets compromised, then we should be able to get those data, get those files or our stuffs back from the another geolocation. So that is why we are using the strategy of the geolocations as well. Suppose we have upload our data on Azure US geolocation, right? And we are working from India, and our data is also stored our Indian servers, right? Means our organization servers, all the data is already present. Then the same data, the same backup we have installed on the US servers of Azure, right? Now the thing is two copies we have, right? One we have in India on our on-prem servers by which we are working. Okay, so that one is the original data we have, which we created, right? The copy we have created on US geolocation on Azure cloud, right? So that one is a copy of that particular data we have in India geolocation, right? The same copy we will create to another geolocation. It could be any geolocation as per your choice, right? So two copies and one original data we have with us, right? So suppose any geolocation has been compromised, the Indian geolocation has been compromised, but still the work is going on and we are able to work alongside. How? Because the SOC simply means the infrastructure should be in a go mode. Go mode means the infrastructure, the modules, the organization should be in a running module, means everything should be in a running condition, whether it is server, whether it is devices, firewall, each and everything should be in a running condition so that operation doesn't gets down, right? So this is our main agenda while we are working in SOC, and everything should be in a running mode. Okay, so that is why we take copy of our backup data and post them to another cloud services. Any of the cloud services you can use, not as specified like you should use the Azure, like I told you, but any services you need as per your cost and efficiency, you can use. We have multiple cloud services and we have multiple vendors like OCI, which is the vendor of Oracle Clouds, right? Then we have Azure provided by Microsoft itself. Then we have AWS provided by Amazon. Okay, and some more we have, but still it depends on your customer need and how much cost they want to pay related to these type of things, right? Because at the end you are working for some of your clients, right? So whatever client will say to you what we need exactly, how to do this work and how to present it, you need to go with them, right? And once you are deploying the SIM, choosing the SIM, which we are going to cover in next part, that completely depends on the client, how much cost they want to bear, right? And in that course, whatever they have chosen, that we will only spend our sim tool this much amount, right? So you need to choose those choose those SIM tools, whatever fits in those particular amount which the client has given to you. Okay. So all the stuffs we are going to cover in SIM module. Whenever I will start the SIM, then I will let you know how to bear the cost and how to choose a good SIM tool for your organization. Right. Every SIM tool is good. The functionality of SIM tools is same. Right. How to deploy the SIM tool is also same. Right. The team is working, they have a knowledge on a single tool, right? But they are moving to another tools on the behalf of the previous tool they have learned, because all of the tools are interconnected. But what the difference is cost, difference is license, and difference is UI, right? So as much as early you understand the UI, the console of that particular tool, you will be able to use that tool as soon as possible. Right. So we are going to cover the theoretical part, right? And I will help you guys to train you with a real world example, because I am also working as a security environment, right? Implementations, deployment, and consulting the client how they can improve their security posture by implementing some more of the tools and some more of the resources, right? So this is my day-to-day work, and I also work with the L1 SOC analyst. We have a hierarchy inside a SOC which is called L1, L2, and L3, right? So the L1 people do around monitoring. Monitoring basically means, okay, so I can show you the SIM tool console once, right? Wait a moment. I think most of the people would like to see what exactly a SIM tool looks alike. I'm sharing my screen. Please wait. Okay, so I hope you can see my screen now.
Yes, Himanshu.
Okay, so SIM tool like this is a Splunk. Splunk is one of the market leading SIM tool, which we call the component as SIM Splunk Enterprise. Right? Splunk Enterprise supports the on-prem data, right? Whatever you have. So on-prem data, you have stored over the servers which you are managing by your own. So it works on those type of data and flow, right? The flow of the data. Then we have one more component as Splunk Cloud. Splunk Cloud means this is a cloud native SIM. Cloud native SIM means it directly native to the cloud. Whatever the data you have over the cloud, any of the cloud. So Splunk Cloud supports those data and shows you your data in your filtering module, right? How it is working. So this is basically just a console, Splunk Enterprise, and this is the UI which we call it as, right? So we are going to cover this Splunk tool, okay, one of the market leading uh, SIM tool. Okay, most of the organizations are using this as of now, right? And they are not just using it, they are using it completely. Completely means all of the components they are using, whether it is cloud, whether it is VM, whether it is enterprise cloud services they are providing, each and everything a company is using. But the thing is completely depend on the license part. As I have told you, first you need to buy the license of a SIM tool according to your need, according to the client need, right? And the users you have inside your organization, means every user is doing any of the activity over the internet, right? If you are there, you are using the internet, your device knows all the stuffs which you are searching over the internet, right? So your device is also uh, producing some type of events, right? Some type of logs In coming sessions, I will let you know what events and what logs are, right? And what could be a better difference between all of those, right? Because events are a bit different from logs, right? So don't worry, I will cover each and everything, whatever we have inside this session, okay? And I will cover all of the things with a real world example, not just the overview. Okay, so this could be the advantage for you because most of the organizations and most of the companies, those are hiring for cybersecurity. They just need a quality in you. They just need a skill inside you, right? So that skill I will help you to build because I am also working with the organizations, most of the organizations, right? And I have handled most of the projects, whether it is petroleum industry, whether it is finance and banking, right? Whether it is rubber industry, whether it is manufacturing industry, whether it is automobile industry. So I have worked in all of the industries, right? We have so many clients, so I am handling all of the clients and I know what is the mentality of the client, right? What they need at what time. So that is why, that is how I can help you with the real world examples, right? So let's come to this console. This is our Splunk Enterprise console, and this is how we can manage. Okay. So basically, you need to search the SOC L1. If I talk about SOC L1 people, right? So SOC L1 people has the desired, and we have designed this console for them only. Why? Because the SOC L1 people are responsible for monitoring our SIM tool, our devices, whatever we have in our infrastructure, right? So inside infrastructure, we could have so many devices, like we have so many employees, then there could be so many devices, more than 1,000, 2,000, 5,000 devices we could have. If we have a large organization, those who have branches in multiple geolocations, so we could have devices in lakhs, right? So apart from this, we could have most of the servers. We have servers over the cloud. We have servers on-prem, right? So we need to manage all of the servers and the other devices. So we could have the single SIM tool which can be able to handle all of these stuffs single-handedly, right? The thing is why we introduce SIM, because SIM using of SIM is bit simple while working on multiple dashboards, right? Because inside the infrastructure we could have the wait a moment. Okay, so suppose this is our organization, right? For which you are supporting your SOC. Basically, we call SOC as in a technical term, in our term, which is MSSP, means Managed Security Service Provider, right? This is a technical term we use. Okay. MSSP simply stands for Managed Security Service Provider, right? Because we manage all the security posture for our client to manage and defend them, right? So suppose this is your organization, right? Inside organization you could have servers, okay? Then you could have multiple devices. Then you could have multiple endpoints. Endpoints means the laptops and the mobile phone. These are the devices which are network devices, means firewall, switches, router, access point, and IDS, IPS. I will let you know what IDS, IPS is, right, and what access point exactly is. Okay, not a problem. But this is just a introductory part for module one. Okay, so we could have the endpoints, laptops and mobile phones, right? We could have multiple servers, we could have multiple devices, because if we have a large organization, then there must be more than 10 to 12 firewalls we can use, because each and every firewall is used by the different functionality. Means we could have the firewalls which only managing the devices and the traffic of a particular device or a server, right? Then we have WAF. WAF simply stands for Web Application Firewall. Web Application Firewall is only configured to work and audit the website related traffic, right? Suppose we have a website of this is the website, right? The web version you are using. So Meet has a website, okay, and Meet somewhere has installed the WAF, which is Web Application Firewall, okay. So web application firewall is installed, and each and every activity you are doing over this URL, not this URL or any other. If you are doing any of the activity on this URL, activity means if you are starting something, if you are communicating, and I am talking to you guys, I'm sharing the notes, I'm sharing the chats, right? So each and everything, each and every traffic is going towards that WAF, okay. The WAF is placed in between web application firewall, and it is handling the complete communication from one end to the another, right? So this is called WAF, web application firewall. And we have the next gen firewalls, which handles the devices and the communication within the organization itself, right? So we could have multiple devices. This is our organization, right? Inside this we have the multiple devices, multiple stuffs we have already deployed, right? Then the thing is, we could have inside a SOC. The SOC is very much big environment, right? If you are deep down into the SOC, then you could find so many stuffs, right? So many stuffs means you could find the SIM tool, you can find the EDR tool, you could find the firewalls, the applications, how to analyze them, and how to analyze the logs, how to analyze the traffic, the network, the IDS, IPS, and the other tools as well, right? So the thing is, the SIM which we are using, as I told you, we are using a SIM, right? So why we are using the SIM? We are using the SIM to correlate each and everything at a single place. Correlate each and everything means, simply means, suppose this is a firewall, right? So this firewall is generating the logs, okay, means the traffic it is generating. The server, we can't directly combine this server to this particular SIM tool, right? This server is storing the logs somewhere, okay. And these are the devices which are endpoint. Endpoint means again laptops, PCs, and our mobile devices. So these are called endpoints, right? So these endpoints are managing by one of our um, tool, which called EDR, endpoint detection and response. The EDR tool which manages these two things, okay. Means the devices it manages, which we call EDR, right? So whenever you deep down into the SOC infrastructure, you will see that so many tools a client have purchased, right? Let's take an example of my organization. We have a big client, okay, and I think in my company that which I'm supporting, that one is the biggest client we have inside our organization, which is paying in multiple crores to us to manage their infrastructure and to manage their security, right? So they have around multiple servers in multiple geolocation, okay, and they are not using a single vendor of cloud. Means they have multiple vendors. They have Azure, they have AWS, they have OCI, Oracle Cloud, right? They have big infrastructure, very much big infrastructure, right? And they have devices in lakhs. Additionally, laptops which we are using in our organization, which they are using in their organization, and they are into the multiple geolocations. They have branches, right? More, they have big amount of employees, those are working for them, right? And they have also given the mobile phones to them, they have also given the laptops to them, PCs to them, the full module they have given to their employees, right? Apart from this, if the infrastructure is big, very much the big infrastructure if they have, then we could have multiple firewalls, right? Because we have multiple servers in the multiple geolocation, so it automatically says we need the multiple firewalls, right? And if we have multiple devices, multiple firewalls, then we would have multiple applications automatically. Applications mean they could have the websites, right? They could have multiple domains. Domains means like if they are working from branch, US branch, right? So they could have that domain, the US domain, right? If they are in the India, then they are using the Indian domain. So this is how they have multiple domains, right? So this is why we call the big infrastructure, because they are spreading their business to multiple geolocations. So whenever they spread their business, so we need to have a quality security for them, right? And just few days ago we have got the alert, few months ago, right? Few months ago we have got the alert, right? Someone is there inside our network from last 3 months, right? And we were like we didn't have any idea, like someone is there inside our network. Someone is means not a physical person sitting on the network, right? The thing is they have installed some of the files, which is a malicious file, and that file is communicating with our additional servers. Means they have installed one of the files on single server, and that file was communicating with other servers, right? And finding the vulnerabilities, the vulnerability component we are going to cover in next modules, not a big challenge, right? So that file was communicating with other servers, other file system, other devices, but we didn't have the idea whether something is there which is communicating from outside to our internal environment. So how it could be possible? You will say that you are the SOC people, right? So you should have the idea because you have the high tech solutions inside your environment, right? We have SIM tools, and we don't have the those SIM tools which are not capable. We have most of the capable SIM tools. We have two SIM tools in our environment, right? So we have two SIM tools. We have EDRs, endpoint detection and response. We have multiple firewalls. We have multiple IDS, IPS. We have network security team. We have Linux team. We have Unix team. We have Windows team, right? And the security team we have email team, right? We have traffic management team, right? The networking team we are the biggest team in our organization, right? The security team, but still we were not able to get the idea whether someone is there in our infrastructure, in our environment, right? So how it happened? Basically the thing is we were moving our infrastructure from one geolocation to another. Means we were into the migration phase, right? So this could be a better learning for you guys how to handle the stuff, because most of the people ask whether you have handled the migration, whether you have handled the some of type of attacks or not, right? So this basically adds in your experience, but I can give you the experience because I have already experienced it, right? How to handle the attacked infrastructure, right, which is under the attack. Okay, how to handle the infrastructure while you are migrating it. Okay, how to handle the infrastructure while the infrastructure is in the building phase, right? So each and everything which comes under the SOC, we need to manage our infrastructure completely, whether we are under the attack or whether we are building it, right? So I have worked in whether it is a building phase, whether I need to build a complete security solution for our client, till the cyber attacks, right? So I have got a quite experience in the SOC how to handle the environment. So we were into the migration phase. We were migrating our data from one geolocation to the another, one servers to the another, and one vendor to the another, right? And as I have told you, we have two SIM tools, right, to manage our infrastructure because we have the biggest infrastructure. So, but we have decided to move completely over the cloud, right? Our client has decided to move my infrastructure over the cloud, right? Cloud means basically it was a hybrid model we have created the architecture for hybrid model means one is cloud model means you are completely switching to cloud. All of the devices, all of the data, you are moving towards cloud, right? Then you have a on-prem means here you have your solo deployed your servers, you have purchased them, you have deployed them. Okay, then you have your own team inside your organization, right? Those who are managing those server into the maintenance team, we call them, right? So you are the whole sole owner of those servers to till managing and deploying them. Okay, so this is called on-prem. The servers are deployed on your premises. Okay, so this is called the term as on-prem servers. We have a cloud. Then the hybrid model comes. Hybrid model means we have our data on both of the sides. Means we have data on on-prem, the data, the servers we are managing by our own, the maintenance we are providing to those servers. Okay, we have a team, those who are maintaining those servers. Apart from that, we also have those data on cloud. Okay, we are using AWS and OCI as of now. So we have our data over the cloud as well. So we are using both of the infrastructure, which is called hybrid model, right? For those hybrid model, we need to create the architecture how all of the stuffs will communicate. The communication part we are going to cover in coming modules, right? So again, we have got attacked, and till 3 months we didn't have any idea whether someone is there and communicating with our devices or our infrastructure, and they are sitting inside our network and they are communicating with other devices. So we were there in the migration phase. We were migrate our all of the tools, all of the devices from single SIM to the another SIM, right? So the another SIM we have deployed, which was more capable than the previous SIM which we were using, and we have increased our size means memory size, CPU size, each and everything we have designed by ourselves. Okay, in my team, I was designing the infrastructure, designing the architecture, how the devices will communicate, right? While you are in the SOC and you are working as a SOC L2 or L3, right, you will be responsible to design those architecture like how these devices will communicate over the internet with my other devices, right? The thing is, inside a security, just know the basic thing is you have to work on a CIA triad. The CIA triad, right? Every security modules revolves around this. The CIA means the CIA triad means everything should be in a available form. Okay, so this is called availability, right? Availability means data should be available whenever you are working, whenever you need that data, right? Suppose you are going to your organization and you need some of the file system, and you don't have access to it, like the attack has been happened, the ransomware attack has been happened, and you don't have any access to that file. So availability stands for the data should be available whenever you need that data. Okay, I stands for integrity. Okay, integrity means the data should not be modified. Whatever the data you have transferred or copied or the backup you have taken, that data should be in that format in which you have copied that data, right? Sometime happens that we transfer our data, then there could be a modification happens. Okay, this is a regular practice we can see inside our SOC. But this could not happen. This is called integrity. Integrity means data should not be modified. Okay, so simply means integrity. The data should not be modified, should not be changed by anyone. This is how you have deployed your data, whether it is server or on-prem. The data should be available in a same format. Okay, and the C stands for compatibility, means all of the data which we have should be compatible to our tools and our organization, right? So security revolves around the CIA triad. And apart from this, how we have survived it, then after 3 months we have got the idea that we have attacked, we are under the attack, and the SOC team was responsible. So let me talk about the responsibility of a SOC team right here. So we have attacked the SOC L1 people were monitoring our console. Suppose this is our console. Okay. So what they do is basically they do searching. They do searching over the data. I can show because I have deployed this complete system over my PC. Right. I think so. It is working. Yeah, it is working. I have deployed the complete solution over my PC because I need to analyze my own infrastructure as well, right? The search history would be there, I think so. Okay. The query language I am writing here, index audit. This is called SPL. Okay. Splunk procedure language by which you will be able to fetch your data like I did. Here, I write this, and here the data I have got. Okay, so this is the console by which you will get all your data. So the L1 team, SOC L1 team, basically work on this schema, on these logs. So this is their day-to-day task, which they do to find the logs, search the new logs, whether everything is a transit mode or not. Right. So this is how we manage our infrastructure. This is how we get the data, right? And apart from this, on which they are working, so we have created the alerts, how you need to create the alert, how to use the SPL query, how to create the dashboard. Each and everything we are going to cover in the lab part, which is a module 3. And whenever we are going to start the SIEM. Okay, so I will let you know how to design this infrastructure and how to design this complete SIM solution. Okay, I will help you to design it, to manage it, right? And those guys are also responsible to manage the dashboard, right? This is called the dashboard, our dashboard. How this is how we manage, right? And the analytics part, the L1 team works. And what they works on the alert part as well. So I will let you know how to create the alert, how to create the rules, use cases inside a SIM, because a SIM is incomplete without rules. Okay, so you have understand that someone is creating the policies over the firewall, right? So we create policies. Why? Because without policies, firewall is not in a use. It is completely a box for us without policies. So this is why that we deploy the policies, we create the rules so that firewall will be able to understand what we exactly need from our firewall, which we have deployed, right? Whether it is WAF, web application firewall, or whether it is a next gen firewall, but still we need to work on the policies. We need to deploy the rules by which our tools will be able to work on, right? So this is our tool, and we need to make it more capable to work with our choice and with our infrastructure, right? So we will design it completely with our understanding, with our needs, right? So I will help you guys to how to deploy it, how to implement it, how to design the architecture, and how to make a use of this particular SIM tools, right? Every SIM tool is directly connected. Okay, the functionality is completely same, right? And the but the difference is the architecture, how that SIM is communicating in the backend. This is the front end type, right? This is the front end. You can see it over here. You can manage it, right? But there is a backend also. So I will let you know what backend is and how it is communicating in the backend side, right? And so L1 team is responsible for that. So when we got the attack, right? So L1 team was responsible to understand what we are getting, but somehow we got the human error, right? They have got the alerts I have created, right? Because I am also responsible to create the alerts in the SIM tool. The complete solution I am providing. So this is why we are responsible to create those alerts, right? But there was a miss from the L1 side because they have missed some of the alerts, right? The malicious IP was getting access to our devices, but we didn't take any action, right? So this was a miss for our front end, right? Our L1 team. Apart from this, one it has missed from the L1, then how L2 will work on it, right? Because inside a SOC we have a hierarchy L1, L2, L3, right? L1 is the backbone, and L1 is the front end, those who are handling our data or our infrastructure. These are the people who are working 24/7, 365 days. Okay, so these are the people working in 24/7 and managing this console. Managing means they are working on the alert. Whenever the alert has been triggered, they need to investigate it, why it triggered. Okay, so we will let working on this, how to analyze, how to get this alerts, and how to investigate it. Okay, but the L1 team is responsible because they are the front benchers, right? So they need to have the complete idea. But the miss has been happened from this, right? So if the thing is how L2 works, the level 2 guy, right? So level 2 guy works directly with the L1. If something L1 has detected, they will transfer that detection to the L2, right? If the thing they haven't detected, they won't be able to transfer this to L2, right? So that at that time they haven't detected, they were just monitoring it and they thought it is a regular data we are getting because we are into the migration phase. I won't say that mistake has been happened by our L1s, but we are already in a migration phase. We were migrating our data from one end to the another, right? So that is why they thought this is a complete solution. This is a regular activity which we are performing, right? And many of the people are responsible for this. So this could be a genuine activity, and they have closed it, right? Close that alert. So once they have closed that alert, they haven't taken any investigation because of the migration we were going on, right? So that is why that particular alert has never transferred to the L2. Okay, so the this has never transferred to the L2. Then L3, which is a third person in our infrastructure, in our hierarchy, won't get any idea about those alerts, right? Because these two people are not directly working on the sim this. Okay, they are not monitoring it. They are working 24/7, this and this, L2 and L3, but they are not monitoring it, monitoring the console. Okay, but these people are monitoring it by 24/7 because this is their only work to do, to manage it, right? So this is our hierarchy, L1, L2, L3, how they work. These are the front end, right? Those who are working on the console, those are who are working on the alerts, right? This is our L2. Whenever any detection got, or they got any of the detection over the SIM tool, they directly transfer it to L2, right? After the basic level of investigation, right? So once they have transferred it, they ask to L2 what we need to do next. Okay, so L2 will analyze by their own analysis, because the analysis they do, which is a basic level of analysis, that is why we call L1 level 1 analysis. L2 analysis will be done by more advanced with more capabilities, because this person is the experienced person, right? So he or she knows how to analyze the log and how to investigate it, right? Then if something happens majorly, right, and if something which L2 didn't get what exactly is happening in our environment, then only L2 will approach to L3. Okay, because most of the thing L2 will happen by their handled by their own. Okay, because L2 has the experience L1 didn't. Okay, so L2 has more experience than this. Okay, so this is why they have handled more of these stuffs by their own, right? But some of the things we get inside a security, because we are managing a big infrastructure. That is why whenever we get some logs which we can't manage or which are not in understand to a L2, then only he or she will approach to L3. L3 has more experience, around 5 to 6 years of experience he or she has, okay, to work on these type of consoles, and they have worked around multiple sim tools and multiple infrastructure. So that is why they have that much experience to analyze all of the logs within them, right? So that is why we have the hierarchy here. Then after this we have one more person inside the hierarchy. So this is called SOC hierarchy. Okay, inside SOC we have a hierarchy. After L1, L2, L3, I told you what these guys do, what are their activities. Okay, so there we called as SIM engineers after L1, L2, L3, right? So the SIM engineer, I am the SIM engineer, right? But I also communicate with all these guys, L1, L2, L3, okay, because I have experience in analysis as well. So someone has get goes through from this comes to me. Most of the time I didn't get, because L1, L2, L3 handles by their own, because they are the experienced guy. But if we have a big infrastructure, then we would have the multiple people with multiple experience, right? So something has missed or something they have got which is a bit malicious or suspicious inside our environment, then only they come to me. Like, we have got this is our log, this is our analysis. They create a report, they create an incident. Okay, then only they come to me. You are the sim engineer, you are responsible for the console, backend or front end. Just go and search what exact is going on inside our environment, right? Because they don't have the access of it, right? The backend part, they don't have access, they have access to this. Okay, so the backend side I need to check. I need to check with the multiple teams, right? The Wintel team we have who manages the Windows servers, the Unix team we have who manages the Linux based servers, right? We have the team which is called network security, which manages the firewalls, right? We have the team called network, which manages the traffic, the flow, the servers, right? Then we have the operations team, then we have the solutions team, then we have most of the teams we have, like, so these are the people, those who are not authorized to talk with those teams, right? Who is authorized to talk? I am authorized to talk. Why? Because the sim engineer is the whole sole uh, person who is managing the solution completely, and this is the person who is responsible for the infrastructure management, right? So this person manages your infrastructure, right? Manages and create the architecture and the communication part. This person is responsible, so that is why he needs to communicate with multiple teams, right? And detect all of the stuff which is going on inside our environment, right? So this is how they come to me. Sim engineer will work on these consoles, right? The front end they have already checked, but now the thing is I need to check the back end analysis, right? The back end analysis is more advanced level of analysis. Whatever they have done, L1 has done the basic level of analysis, L2 has done more advanced, means more advanced than this, right? But within the console. Then they move to the L3. L3 again work on the console, but the difference is what type of logs they fetch according to their skills, right? So fetching of the logs, working on the logs, working on the event is completely depend on your experience, completely depend on your skills, right? So once you get the experience, you will be able to understand these consoles completely. Okay, and your skills will improve according to your experience, right? So this is why we have the hierarchy with multiple experienced person, right? So these people have a bit 1 or 2 years of experience, so this is how they analyze all of the logs according to their experience, because in 1 or 2 years, how much experience you will get on these multiple tools, right? We have so many tools. That is why we have planted this L2. L2 has 3 4 or 4 year plus of experience while analyzing the logs. Okay, then we have L3. L3 has around 5 or 6 year of experience. Okay, so they again work on these consoles, but again their capability is more than the L1 and L2, because they have more experience and they have multiple SIM tools, right? But if you have the courage to learn, then all of these stuffs, all of the learnings, all of the knowledge you can get in less time of frame. Means if you have experience in SIM, 3 years of experience you have, then you can get the knowledge of these because you have a courage to learn. Okay, the SOC is very much big, so it totally depends how much you want to learn. Okay, so all of the peoples are uh, experienced, but the SIM engineer has the experience for backend. Front end he has, but he has also experience in the backend. Why? Because he is the only person who deployed the infrastructure, right? So he knows in and out of that organization, right? So what he will do is he will analyze those things on this console, but mostly analyze the stuff on the backend side, how our network, how our traffic is going from inside to outside, right? So this is the duty of SIM. But most of the time I don't get these type of questions because L2 only handles it, and most of the time L3 handles. I do not work on the analysis part, whether it is backend or front end, right? Most of the times, but some of the things I get. But the work of this SIM engineer is particularly dependent on the infrastructure. Okay, he or she is the responsible for managing the infrastructure. As I told you, everything should be in a running mode. So if we need to consider everything in a running mode, then the SIM engineer will be introduced, right? He is the responsible for managing the infrastructure in a running mode. Okay, every device, every server, every tool should be in a running mode. Okay, so this is the responsibility of this person. After this, we have one more person in the hierarchy, which is called SOC lead. Okay, so SOC lead is the lead person who is managing these guys. Okay, the completely what they are doing, this lead manages it. Okay, who is called as SOC lead, right? So these four-person works under this lead, and this lead works under one more person is there inside SOC, inside the hierarchy, which is called project manager, right? Project manager is the person who manages the complete solution starting from this to this. Okay, he is very much experienced, around 10 to 15 year of experience he has, right? So he manages the complete infrastructure, complete team, right? So he knows the analysis of L1 level, L2 level, L3 level, SIM level, SOC lead level, right? So this is the whole sole responsible for person for the particular organization, right? So this is called SOC hierarchy. We have multiple persons inside a SOC, right? So this is was our thing. So after this, wait a minute. I think Splunk is taking so many CPU power. Right, so this was our organization. We have multiple tools, multiple devices inside our organization, and we have multiple tools as well to manage the endpoint. We have EDR to manage the server. We have network, right, to manage the device. We could have IDS, IPS, right, Wait a moment. बनाओ ना. अभी टाइम नहीं है, अभी जा. हाँ हाँ हाँ. बनाओ ना. एक minute. Guys, can we take 5 minute break?
Yeah, Himanshu.
Sure.
Okay, so let's join after 5 minutes. और टट्टू चल करो.
हो गया.
अबे उधर होना, तू हुआ ही नहीं हुआ, तू जा अपना.
बताओ चलो. टाइम बढ़े सर.
देखा,
हेलो.
तेरी क्लास कितने बजे से होती है?
4.
4. 4. ठीक है, फिर 12 बजे के बाद नहा और चल के
पैसा डालिए.
पहले ट्रिमर दिखाना है.
पैसा डालिए. थोड़ा जल्दी नहीं जा सकते.
और भी तो
3 बजे. डाउट ले रहे हैं ना.
1 बजे निकलेंगे ना.
अरे 3 बजे पीडब्ल्यू पहुंच रहा है.
पहुंचा दूंगा. सब कुछ रिकॉर्ड हो गया.
जैसे भी.
Okay, so I was talking about the server, right, and the infrastructure. So inside the infrastructure organization, we have servers, right? So managing those server, we have the team, right, and we need to monitor all of the stuffs with the applications, right? And if we are managing the websites or the domains, multiple domains, then we could have the WAF solution, right? And after this, to managing all of the application, then we need to deploy the application level servers, right? So we have multiple servers in our organization. Each and everything I will cover when we are going for a lab part, okay, with the architecture. But as of now, to understand this, we have multiple servers, those who have different functionalities. Suppose we have deployed the application, any of the application, web application or anything, then those servers could be used by the application servers, right? Then we have some of the servers, those who are responsible for the Windows, then the Windows server has been deployed over those. Then the Linux server has been deployed. These are the complete functionality of the servers, and we are managing it, right, with the same symbol, right? And then for the endpoint, we have the EDR and the XDR, right? EDR means endpoint detection and response, and XDR stands for external detection and response, right? So each and everything EDR, XDR, we need to correlate with this. Okay, the SIM tool. This is the SIM tool we have in our environment. So the endpoints are correlated with this, right? And we have firewalls and IDS IP solution as well. IDS stands for intrusion detection and prevention, right? Sorry, intrusion detection system, and IPS stands for intrusion prevention system, right? So this is the difference between these two. Why we need these two? So we are going to cover in next modules, right? Next modules I am saying you because this is just an introductory part, the first module, but we have lot of stuff in this session which you will learn about, right? And the IDS and IPS, intrusion detection and intrusion prevention system, right? We need this. Why we need this? Okay. And we have the firewalls, and apart from this, what could we have? We have to manage the network. We have the अबे यार एक कुकर की सीटी नहीं
एक
बज
और
रही
भी आ रहा है बट मैं ट्रेलर
नहीं है यार बकवास
अरे
है
तो मेरे हेडफोन है ना इसमें ज्यादा है नॉइस कैंसलेशन
okay so what we have next we have, yeah, for network analysis we have Wireshark tool. Okay, so this is a tool to analyze the network. And for network again we have the tool I am missing, not a problem. But for IDS and IPS we have Snorby, right? The Snorby tool is also responsible for analyzing the networks. So these are the some tools which we are using in our organization. And apart from this, we have one more module which is called vulnerability management. So for vulnerability, we have around the Qualys. We have Qualys is again a vulnerability management tool. And what we have, then we have the cyber reason. Cyber reason is again responsible for endpoint again, right? But cyber reason has a different functionality which we are using, right? And what we have is Tenable. Tenable is a vulnerability management tool by which you can manage your organization vulnerability. So if you see, we have module. Wait, I'm sharing my screen. Wait a moment. Yeah, so the thing is, here it is. We have grouping, yeah, the vulnerability assessment, right? So this is the module 5. We have Qualys, we have Tenable, we have Nessus for vulnerability management. Okay, so we are using it, right? And some more of the tools we are using, right? So because we have a big infrastructure, so we have around 6 to 7 tools in our organization for different functionalities. For network analysis, we have different tool. For vulnerability management, we have different tool. For again IDS and IPS, we have another tool. Firewall, we have another tool. Windows application level, WAF, we have another tool. FortiGate we are using as of now, right? Forti Analyzer and Forti Manager. I will let you know what is the functionality of all those. And yeah, so but we have the large organization, we have number of tools, but all of the tools are reporting to the SIEM, right? So this is the good part. That is why we have a SIEM. That is why we need to monitor the SIEM only, and that is why we need SIEM in our organization, right? So this is the basic functionality, and this is why we need, and the objective of SIEM is simple. We need to manage all of our infrastructure at single place, right? So this is the basic functionality of a SIEM.